Domestic violence is something that people don't talk about. They don't talk about it in the community. They don't talk about it in the churches. They don't talk about it in homes. And it's something that should be talked about. We should be raising awareness. I am the founder and president of, I believe, the best organization in Mississippi, Butterflies by Grace, Defined by Faith. Butterflies is an organization that I'm very passionate about. Butterflies is exclusively an organization that addresses domestic violence, human trafficking, sexual assault. It's an organization that was founded in 2010 because of two young ladies that was killed by the hands of two young men that was supposedly loved them. That's why I felt in my heart that because of those two women, their death should not be in vain. I promised their mothers, as long as I had breath in my body, that I will make sure that their names be raised to awareness. I know when I started the organization, I didn't know the signs. So what we had to do, we had to start, doing summits. We had to start doing community events, whereas that we had to ask survivors, victims to come in and we give them a platform. They're so courageous, to share their stories and tell us and all. So we see the signs, we know the signs, and then we put a face to domestic violence. When you put a face to domestic violence, you know this stuff is real. You can see stats all day. You could Google stats all day. But once you put a face to domestic violence, you know this stuff is real. Domestic violence is a crime.
He just called me and told me that he was gonna kill me. Again, I'm like, really? Didn't take it serious, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't take that serious at all. But he meant what he said, because he definitely tried to kill me. On this particular day, March 4th, 2007, he must made up in his mind to follow me. I didn't know I was being followed. I went to the store, Family Dollar store, city of Jackson. So when I went into the store and I came out, my mind was, let me have my keys in my hand, because this store has a tendency of being robbed all the time. And so when I came out of the store, somebody came up behind me and hit me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be robbed. And so but when I turned around to give them whatever my purse, because I'm thinking I'm going to be robbed. So I'm getting ready to give them my purse so this hitting can stop. And when I looked, I'm like, what are you doing? It was my husband. So I just took out and went to running, because at that time, I knew I was being attacked. And at that time, to be honest with you, I thought I was just being hit with a fist. And I realized that I wasn't being hit with a physical fist. I was being stabbed with a knife. And so when I fell down, he just began to start stabbing me. And he stabbed me so many times in my back. The people were just standing around looking. And so when he got through stabbing me, I thought it was over. I thought he was through stabbing me. He was going to go on about his business. He pulled out a water bottle. And this water bottle had gasoline in it. At that moment, I didn't realize it was gasoline until he dished it on me. So you can imagine, If anybody have any open wounds, if you put anything in an open wound, and that was gasoline, it burned, oh God, it burned me so bad, it was a crying shame. So I'm studying, crying out to the people, somebody help me, this man trying to kill me. Broad daylight, somebody help me, this man trying to kill me. And if that wasn't enough, he took out a match to set me afire. And when he struck that match, because literally, I gotta be honest with you, when I seen people weren't trying to help me in no type of way, I really gave up to die. And when he struck that match, the only person I could call on was Jesus. And when I called on the name of Jesus, that match went out. But he was so determined to burn me up. He took out another match. The only thing I could say was Jesus. And that match went out. Still determined to kill me. When he took out that last match, I don't know where this man came from, but a man came and he pulled a gun on him. And he said, get away from her. Said, if you do another thing, I'm going to kill you. So this man held that gun on him. By that time, the police arrived, the ambulance arrived. And so when they got there, they seen all the blood on the ground, and they knew it was coming from my back. So they began to start counting the stab wounds that was in my back. And I had been stabbed 36 times. So that right there, to this day, is still fresh on my mind. Like I said, that was 2007. I never will forget that day as long as I live. I got scars to remind me of that day. Even though the judge set his bond so high that there was no possibility of him getting out, I would literally come back to the house and look in closets, look up on the bed, check my windows, see if my windows been open. And so that was just draining me. I couldn't keep doing that. It was just tiring me out. So I went to see a psychiatrist and told him about my situation. But to be honest with you, they told me I was fine. They did suggest that I become an advocate for domestic violence. And somehow or another, it was a young lady, she and I went to the same church together, knew evil. And she gave Miss Jones my contact number. Miss Jones called me, and I started telling my story of what had happened when I was introduced to Miss Jones, and she allowed me to come in and share my story. That was the best therapy besides prayer. And I thank God that he allowed Miss Jones to be the start of my healing process, becoming an advocate, speaking on domestic violence. It was something I had to do. There was no other way. There wasn't like, I don't know if I want to do this. I wasn't embarrassed. I had to do it. It was just something that was pushing me to do it. I did not know that there was resources out here, shelters that you can go to. There are people that you can talk to get you out of this situation. If you have children together, there are places you could go, and you be in a secluded area where nobody know where you are and where you're at. A lot of people don't know that, and because they don't know that, they allow themselves to stay in these abusive relationships. See what type of resources are out here. This organization is the organization that informs people that you are not alone. There are resources and help out here if need be. We are going to have to be our own advocate for ourselves when we are going through these type of situations, because the help is out here, but we just got to be the one to search for the help. Because you can't make me believe that a woman or a man love being abused. You can't make me believe that. But they just don't know the step that they need to go in to get out that situation.
The impact that I pray for this community, that it would be a beacon and a light, that man, woman, girl, boy would be able to say that we have helped, that we have believed them when they said that it happened to them. We have encouraged them and given them a kind word, because I believe that you got to be kind. You got to be kind in this cruel and mean world. You got to be kind.